Hello, hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Garrett Bake, your brother in arms, and welcome to another episode of The Tactical Businessman. Today's topic, what time is it? I like to think of these topics on the fly. It makes it more fun that way. So currently it is 8:44 a.m. where I am at, recording this right now in Arizona. But I've been up now for almost 5 hours. That's right, 5 hours. Most of you getting up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right, half of my day's already gone. Or I should say a quarter, let's be honest. But it wasn't always like this. See, if you think about this, what does a typical morning routine consist of? And I went back to my parents in their morning routine. My dad would get up, he'd take a shower, he'd brush his teeth before he ate. Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. That's just his thing. But he would brush his teeth before he ate. He would come up, he would have breakfast with the family, and then he would leave for work. Like that was his morning routine. There was nothing more to it. On the weekends, he'd get up, eat breakfast, and then he'd go outside in the yard and work. And so my dad's morning routine was a very, very simple morning routine. And for most of us, it is. So guess what happened when I got married, when I had my family, and I started establishing my morning routine? It was pretty much the same. Okay, I added some stuff. With the advent of cellular devices, that's right, we all have one. My morning routine consisted of getting up, getting on my phone, scrolling through some type of news site, be it the local or the national news. I couldn't forget the sports, so I'd touch ESPN in there as well. Then I'd go out, and either I or my wife would make breakfast, and then I would leave for work. And that's about as far as it got. And of course, you all know what happens. As soon as you hit the door of the office or your business or wherever it is, it's like somebody was sitting there waiting with a bucket of ice cold water to dump on your head and say, "Oh, hey, welcome back. Welcome to reality." And then it starts. The emails, the phone calls, the nonstop to-do list. You're feeling stressed. You're feeling burnt out. You're feeling behind. Lunch break comes around. Oh, you'd love to take a lunch break, except there's so much to go. There's so much happening. There's so much to do that you can't take a lunch break. So you power through your lunch break. In the middle of the afternoon, you feel exhausted. You really wish you could take a nap, but you can't because you don't have time because you have so many things to do. So you keep powering through. And then there's more things and more things and more things that pile on your desk or pile in your office. And then, oh, hey, what do you know? It's time to go home. Except most of the time you don't get home on time. Why? Because there's so many things to do at the office. And then you get home thinking that, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and take it easy now because I'm at home. But your wife has other ideas. She's got a list of things that she needs you to do. That's right, the honey-do list. And on top of that, your children want to play ball with you, dolls, paint nails, go on bike rides, and all kinds of other things. So by the time you hit the pillow at night, you are exhausted, worn out, tired. And you wake up the next day and you do the same thing over again. And the next day, you do the same thing over again. And then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. Oh, yeah. Wasn't there a definition of insanity revolving around something like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? See, we all want our lives to change. We want them to get better. We want to make more money. We want to have more sex. We want to have a better body. Except we get stuck in these routines thinking that somehow this routine is going to get us what we want. But the truth is we're stuck in somebody else's routine. Somebody else told us that life needed to function this way. Somebody else told us that this is what we needed to do in the morning. Somebody else told us that these were the outcomes that we should chase after. And so we continue to live in somebody else's version of reality and not our own. And you wonder why so many men hit their mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, mid-30s, early 40s, and they're burnt out, and they're fed up, and they're pissed off, and they're frustrated, and they start finding for a way to numb all the pain. Cue alcohol, cue prescription drugs, cue illegal drugs, Cue pornography. Cue, that's right, the sexy woman down the street. So it's no doubt how this happens. And if you've been listening to this podcast long enough, you know that I am the walking billboard of that path of how not to do things, right? Because I didn't have a morning routine. I was stuck living in somebody else's version of reality. I was stuck in my own fantasy, pretending that I was living the life that I wanted to live, only I wasn't. And I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And yet I continued to do the same thing. Well, maybe if I do more, that's it. I'll do more of the same thing. That'll get me different results. Yeah. Well, it didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to, right? So I ended up at the bottom of this pit, right in the darkness, struggling, trying to figure it all out, realizing that I'm in a free fall right now. And if I don't do something, my entire life is going to be over. And so first came the choice, right? The choice, the decision to make, to change. But after that, I had to figure out, okay, well, what does change mean? Do I change my pants? Do I change my commute to work? Do I change my greeting on the telephone? Do I change how I write a paragraph? Do I change how I end a sales call? Like, what am I changing? And so we start constantly searching after this change, right? First comes the desire, then comes a change, but we're searching after the change. What is this change? And it frustrates us even more because we want it. We know what it is and we want it. So how do you get it? And for years, I struggled with this. For years, going to seminars. For years, going to events. For years, going to workshops and counselors and psychiatrists. And all of these things, spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. Only to be told, on one side, you're broken. Congratulations. And on the other side, rah, 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 everything is awesome. And then I'd go home and be like, okay, now what? So at some point, change can't be just attending a seminar, buying another book, writing down another really cool quote, posting a meme on Facebook. Like, it's got to be something else. And for me, that started with something called a morning routine. Now, you can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. You can call it the power hour. You can call it the morning routine. You could do it what I do before I hit the door. Like, it doesn't matter what you call it. But what matters is that you have a morning routine. And here's why. If you played any kind of sport growing up, any kind of sport, what did you always do prior to the game? You practiced. What did you practice for? You practiced for the game. You prepared for the game. You set yourself up for success. If you were in football, what did you do? You probably studied film of your opponents and said, oh, these are their tendencies. These are what they're going to do. So that when the game came, you were more prepared. Now, that didn't always mean that you won, but it always meant that you were prepared. If you were what? If you were paying attention, if you were implementing the things that needed to change in order to improve your odds of winning. And guess what? Life itself is no different. It's no different. And so I had to make a choice not only to want to change, but I had to figure out what needed to change. And one of my mentors, Garrett J. White, introduced me to a morning routine, right? This morning routine that will actually help you set your mind and your body right so that you can win the day. And I talk about this all the time, winning the daily war. What does it mean to win the daily war? Well, the best way to win the daily war is to stack the odds in your favor. And we do that through a morning routine. So what do I do in my morning routine? If you follow me on social media, you know I'm usually up at 4 a.m. I'm usually out doing something, hiking, running, working out. I'm out. And so by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, man, I'm rip roaring and ready to go. A lot of people are waking up at 7 o'clock. I'm ready to go. Because by that time, what have I done? I've worked on my body. I've worked on my connection with my purpose or God or the voice, whatever you want to call it. I've connected with my family. And ultimately, I've set my intentions and worked on something for my business. So instead of getting to the office and getting inundated by emails, phone calls, text messages, meetings, and everything else, and feeling like you're in the deep end, being held down by a brick, barely keeping your head above water, I'm like, cool. I got this really cool boat. I'm just going to go ahead and climb in the boat, and we're just going to go ahead and hang out in the deep end. I'm sure there's sharks and all kinds of other things, but I'm here hanging out in my boat, so I'm good. How about you? Now, I don't say that to make you feel bad. I don't say that to poke fun at. I say that to point out the fact that I was in that same situation for so many years. I didn't have a morning routine. Therefore, when the day came, like it attacked, and I just had to defend myself as best I could. Whereas now I've put myself in a position of advantage so that I attack the day. So the first thing that I always work on is my body, my physical body. Your body is your gateway to power. Think about this. Every time you get a solid workout in, your body releases something called endorphins, aka the feel-good drug, aka that's why you're always smiling even after you beat yourself down at the gym. So you're feeling good already in the morning. You're feeling connected. You're feeling energized. The next thing you do is connect with your purpose. God, the voice, and make sure you're in alignment. Are you doing what you need to be doing? And are you doing it the way that it needs to be done? The next is your family. Connect with your family. Now, this can be done with leaving them little notes, little sticky messages, drawings if they're young kids. Or if you got teenagers or adults, leave them voice messages. Leave them video messages. Something that every day you're connecting with what matters most is your family. And that ultimately leaves you clear and ready for business. And instead of walking into the office, waiting for the shitstorm that you know is coming, you're prepared. You already have an intention for the day. This is the thing that I need to get done today, regardless of what happens, whatever fires are burning. This is the thing that I need to get done today. So every day we work on three things, right? We work on power through our body. We work on purpose through our connection to the voice, to our purpose, and to our family. And ultimately, we work on profit, the way that we make money. Don't think this works? I challenge you. Challenge you to try it on for a week. Every week, work on connecting in these areas. Work on hitting something in these areas before you leave your house, before you get to the office. Before you get to wherever it is that you work, take care of yourself first. Connect with your body. Connect with your purpose. Connect with your family. And ultimately connect with the way that you make money. And watch how things change, because now you're living with intention. Now, by the time you hit the door, who cares what distractions are coming? You're ready to go. You're not worried about hitting the gym or not. You already took care of that. You're not worried about whether you're aligned with your purpose or not. You took care of that. You're not worried about whether you told your wife you loved her or not, or connected with your kids. You already took care of that. You're not worried about what's going to happen at work today. You already know what's going to happen. You took care of that. So by taking care of yourself first, everything switches. There's a challenge. The challenge for today. Put yourself in a position of power every single day, a position of advantage, of tactical advantage, by working on yourself first. And watch what starts to happen as you do this. All right. If you're curious about more details of this, you can reach out to me, Garrett at warriorguardian.com, or hit me up on social media. I'll have some stuff coming up on winthedailywar.com where we'll be sharing some of these things with you so you can, that's right, win. Because that's what life's about, isn't it? Winning. Our version of winning. All right. That is it for today. As always, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. I honor, love, and respect you all. As always, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.